I remember those days when you had to learn Java in order to create one Android app, and it was whole new way of difficult level. Yes, of course, after that Kotlin came, but it didn't make any kind of task easier for beginner like you and me to get started with coding Android projects. Eventually, there was one amazing technology which let me build Android projects, and that is React Native. It was just using JavaScript for building mobile application, nothing more, nothing less. If you knew already what is React, you can directly go ahead and start with the building React Native project. If you don't know what is React, it's very easy to get started with React. It's not very complex, but you need to know JavaScript. And learning JavaScript is 1,000 times easier than learning Kotlin or Java. If you already have Java background, that's fine. If you don't have Java background, then obviously learning Java or even Kotlin to understand something and then building mobile application, then realizing you can't build iPhone application using that is very, very, very big trouble that you might face. That's why React Native is the best tool out there in order to build mobile application. The thing with React Native is it is basically React and it just uses some kind of technology in order to make sure whatever you code in React that is being converted into one native mobile application. It's not like some kind of web view which you'll get if you are using some other technologies out there, maybe Ionic or maybe some other application. It's just native application, meaning whatever the button you create, it will be actually button only in Android. It's not some kind of website or something like that. That's why React Native would be as speed as building it in native only. Maybe if you want to go ahead and build like really amazing application, you might have to go in the native level. That's also possible if you use React Native. And the thing is, you can go ahead and build it for iPhone also. It's not like if you build something in React Native, it's going to just work in Android. Whenever you want to shift to iPhone, you can go ahead and shift it and you can build it simultaneously also. But you need to make sure that you are developing it on Apple devices, not Windows or Linux computer. That's because Apple has certain restriction on how does mobile app needs to be developed for their iPhone. That's why there is one restriction that you need to have Mac in order to code it. Otherwise, you can build Android application in whatever the operating system you want. You can use Mac, you can use Windows, you can use even Linux. So that's why React Native is readily available in all the platform and major operating system you might be using. This app will be working on iPhone as well as Android phone. That particular feature is really required by all these new amazing startups because they don't want to use two different developers and face lots of issues in the compatibility and in terms of similarities between these two platforms. They want one code base which is maintained by certain kind of developers. In this case, it will be React Native developers, and it will be usable for both of the platforms. They might require some native functionality which can be implemented very easily. It's not that much tough. But this particular single code based projects, they have lots of demand in the market, and it's very easy to create them also. That's added benefit rather like building it on their native version, maybe Swift or some other technology for iPhone. Android, of course, works on Kotlin. The thing is, just having React knowledge is sufficient whenever you are just getting started in React Native. It's not like you need to know something else in terms of Android or something like that. Everything will be written in React. If you already built React project, converting it into Android application is not that much tough because most of the things can be directly copy pasted. Only UI part needs to be certainly changed because in website we'll be using div everywhere, div, paragraph tag and all those things. But in React Native, they give certain other things in order to make sure it works fine in the mobile. Maybe view, maybe text, maybe button, all those things. But it's mostly similar to whatever the things you have built in website only. There will be certain changes which can be learned very easily without worrying about it. This is how one simple React Native project home page looks like. I kept it very simple and this is the code which is required in order to make sure this particular home page is looking fine. So that's it. very easy to code and very easy to implement it. Now we might ask, is there any alternative for Vue.js or even Angular? Yeah, there is something called as Ionic Framework. It's good. I'm not telling like it's bad or anything like that. Even I used it before using React Native, so I have built application in Ionic also. The thing with Ionic is it's going to create one web view, so whatever the website you are creating, it won't be native. And problem with web view is at certain time it might feel like it's being little bit slow, or it might behave inappropriately in different devices. They are trying to make sure it works fine in all the devices, but there are some problems with that. And also iPhone has certain restriction to use web view. I'm not sure what is it, but if you are planning to use certain application like this, you need to make sure it works properly at current age, because all the tutorials and videos might have been old, and some things might have been changed after that. That's why you need to make sure that you are up to date with what works and what not. So there is another alternative, that is Ionic Framework, but I would still recommend that go ahead with the React Native and build something using it. So that's it for this video, guys, and if you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.